welcome to Music Link with Kimmy Diamond. It is your diamond, Kimmy. Yes, Kimmy Diamond, your host. Okay, content brought to you by Music Arena. This is going to be a great episode. I'm very excited for this episode. So get some food, get some beverages, and just enjoy because this will be a good episode, and y'all gonna find out in just a little bit. So we're gonna start off with our first segment. The first segment is bar time. Now, disclaimer: when we do this, we do have to switch up words. Okay, I'm trying to keep this PG-13 here. So, bar time is where we talk about singles that has been recently released, and we just dissecting bars and just putting our little 2 cents in there. So, we're gonna start off with "Thought I Was Playing" by Gunna featuring 21 Savage. Okay, so that is the single that we have going on here. Okay, so yeah, he just recently released this. This is off of his project called DS Forever. If you have not heard that, check it out. But yeah, so we're gonna start off like this, like here. Okay. Hot like a stove with a pot in the pan. We taking over the land. I can go chop up a few blocks again. Ninja can't wait to come spin. Um, I like that internal rhyme that he did there. Okay, that was a good simile that he did there. Um, we know how the stove and the pan and stuff like that. I like how he played that there and just basically taking over the blocks. And yeah, what he mean by ninjas can't wait to come spin is not like relationships like spin the block. No, this is like on some street spin the block type stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my enemies will try to come back and use your imagination. Again, we have to keep this PG-13 here, okay? So the next part that we have here is how you a shooter. It ain't even hit the rim. Summertime killing the Air Force Ones. When it gets to winter, I'm stepping in Tim's. Now that's a good metaphor and hyperbole there by 21 Savage there. I really like the basketball reference that he used there. And we all know when it comes to Air Force Ones, okay, it has a certain reputation, especially the all solid black ones. Okay. So I get the reference there. And Tibbs, yeah, heavy duty boots. Okay. Yeah, I do like this bar here. I love how he formatted it. It was very great. So last but not least, we're gonna get to this bar right here. I call the Draco Floyd, give him an uppercut. We hit that boy in the chin, a finger, ninja. I'm a dropout, AK heavy metal rock out. Now that was hard. That was a good metaphor there. Now, again, he's referencing to Floyd Mayweather. And that's why he used the uppercut, but the uppercut hit the chin right after that. And yeah, and also 21 Savage is not ashamed of dropping out and pursuing his career because now he is an 8-figure ninja. Okay. And I like the last bar here, AK heavy metal rock out. That was a hard bar right there. So okay, all right. I see how we starting off the year. Okay, that was hard. Okay, if you haven't heard that single, I suggest that you go listen to that because it was very good. I really like that. I was very impressed. Now we finna hit the next segment. That next segment is flowers. Now, flowers is a segment that we do where we just show appreciation to either a hip hop artist, group, producers, anybody who contribute into the hip hop culture, giving them their flowers, letting them know that their work is appreciated, and just letting them know, like, listen, we heard you, and you are definitely appreciated. You know what I mean? Got us through rough times and stuff like that. So OutKast. I could not wait to do OutKast for flowers. I know. It's been, I know I kind of stretched it a little bit. However, I just wanted to make sure that it was worth it. So yeah, OutKast. Okay, so OutKast. All right, we all know ATL's most versatile group. Okay, I'm gonna get into why. Now, the background story is that Andre and Big Boy, they actually met each other when they were 16 at Lenox Mall Square in Georgia. and they used to rap battle during lunch, and that's how they got it started when it comes to rap. Like that's their origin story, if you will. And yeah, so what I found out is that they started off with two different names. Before OutKast was OutKast, they wanted to be named Two Shades Deep and the Misfits. However, those names was taken, so they went with OutKast. OutKast is very similar to the Misfits. You know what I mean? It's like a synonym, if you will. But it worked. Okay, it worked. So along with Organized Noise. Now, Organized Noise is it's a collective, and along with them, Ed Goody Mob, they formed the Dungeon Family. Okay, so the Dungeon Family consists of OutKast, Sleepy Brown on there, and a couple of more well-known artists. You'll be surprised. And before leaving high school, they signed a deal with LaFace Records. All right, and with LA and Babyface. Before it became LaFace Records, they just signed to LA and Babyface. So just to let you know that history there. And they debut album Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music. Okay, so that was released back on April 26, 1994. Okay, so dang, that's gonna be like 30 years, golly. But yeah, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned this classic moment by OutKast. Now, this was during the 95 Source Awards where the East Coast, West Coast beef was just like very like prominent around that time. Now, when they was accepting their award, unfortunately, they was booed. Okay. So Andre said this, but it's like this though. I'm tired of these of them close-minded folks. It's like we got a demo tape, but don't nobody want to hear it. But it's like this. The South got something to say, and that's all I gotta say. Now, honestly, I mean, I could be wrong, but OutKast really opened up and broke down the barriers when it comes to Southern rap because it was East Coast and West Coast during that time. But if Andre did not say anything, then I don't know how it would be. But they definitely helped, broke down that barrier when it comes to Southern rap being accepted, especially around that time when it was thick. Okay, so and then years later, I mean, we had Miss Jackson and throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Okay. And Rosa Parks, which is one of my favorite songs. We later on after that, we got Speaker Box and The Love Below, which is the album that I recently talked about. Okay. Their biggest album yet, that double disc was their biggest project as of yet. They had Grammys from that because on that album, they gave us Hey Y'all. They gave us I like the way you move. Okay, like they really like changed their sound. Like I love how when it comes to OutKast, they changed their sound. It's not all around like hip hop. They tapped into funk, of course, Southern, of course, even like AT Aliens, where it was just like spacey and stuff like that. Like that OutKast, they definitely lived up to the name. Okay, it definitely made sense. So I'm glad that they named OutKast with a K. And they gave us classic hits, and still to this day, I had to make sure that they got their flowers because somebody was getting beside themselves. Yep, I'm gonna go there. Trying to say that Andre 3000 is not a good rapper. I don't know who said that. Do your research and listen to the songs. Okay, we not gonna do that. Okay, now these two right here is this like I cannot imagine another duo like this. I can't imagine Big Boy being with somebody else in the group, and I can't imagine Andre 3000 being with somebody else. They was a great mess, which is why we got Aquemini, that album, which is why we got that album, which Rosa Parks was on that album. Did mention that. So yeah, but yo, this group right here, the versatility, the range on this group, which is why their music still played to this day. Hey y'all is still in commercials, still in it's still in movies, in roses. Okay, uh, yeah. So it's like this group right here is monumental. Like you cannot go wrong with OutKast. All right, like it definitely gave people a breather away from either gangster rap and East Coast rap. You know, Outkast provided that. So that's why I'm like, yo, y'all need to give these two their flowers. Like, dude, the catalog again. If you don't know Outkast at all for some reason, this you kids, you need to listen to Outkast, please. All right, I'm giving them their flowers for a reason. All right, they've been around. It's been 30 years. I just realized that. It's been 30 years. 1992. Woo! Damn. Okay, anyway, but yeah, but however, they deserve their flowers, man. They really do. The most versatile group that you can ever listen to, man. Like they switch it up. You know what I mean? They evolve. Like every single album that they drop is different. Okay, from the debut album to speak about every album sound different. It's hard to do that, especially as a rapper, because sometimes you get placed in a box. However, they did it. They broke down barriers. They break down all the crazy stuff like that. Like, no, we finna be creative, and that's exactly what they did. Creativity and versatility. Shout out to both. Shout out to Outkast. And again, if you have not listened to the tracks for some reason, listen to it. Okay, so that's what it's gonna be when it comes to flowers. All right, now I know I kind of got a little emotional, but I had to say what I got to say. All right, so we finna hit to Biz After Music. Now, Biz After Music is a segment that we do where we talk about um rappers either endorsing, investing, or whatever in the business world outside of music. Because again, do not put all your eggs into one basket. Okay, in a recent episode, I explained why. All right, so we gonna get with Chance the Rapper. Now, Chance the Rapper is collaborating with Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Okay, I just found this out. So found out that little last year they reported that he is trying to release a flavor with Ben and Jerry's called mint chocolate chance. Okay, I think that's his favorite ice cream, I guess. And what's so cool about this that I should mention, he gonna give us two options from this flavor: a dairy option and a non-dairy option. Okay, I'm vegan, so thank you very much. So to my vegan fellow friends there, we're gonna get a non-dairy version of this. So this will be releasing somewhere around this year, and the proceeds will go to Social Worth, which is his nonprofit company. Company. All right. So yeah, I'm very excited. Will I try it out? Probably, maybe, hopefully. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's cool. That's cool, Chance. Next, we finna get into Nas. Nas, listen, let me tell you something. We mentioned Nas dang there in every episode in Biz After Music. Like, it is crazy. All right. So, Nas, he is selling music to his fans, apparently. So, Nas will release NFTs to allow his fans to own a stake in some of his singles, with two singles actually. And those singles are Ultra Black and Rare. Okay, as of today. Okay. So NFT is a non-fungible token that represents the ownerships for special items and is not interchangeable for other items. So, for example, like baseball cards and probably some antiques. So that is that's basically what NFT is if you're not really familiar with what that is. So yeah, I had to do a little research. So both songs will be released on January 11th, and buyers will be permitted to collect the tokens on the spot. So that is very cool. That is very cool. And we all know when it comes to Nas, he is very he don't limit himself when it comes to business, all right, either in cryptocurrency or technology. Like he put his hand in each market, obviously, and I mentioned that, okay, in Biz After Music a couple of times. So selling his music to fans in order for him to have a stake is very cool. And if this become a thing when it comes to artists, then that will be a cool thing, and it definitely will help maintain fan base. That's how I looked at it. So I mean, well, Nas will always have fan base, but it would help maintain it. So yeah, that was a cool thing there. Okay, Nas, I see you. All right. This had to be your 10th time being mentioned on this show, but hey, I ain't hate it at all. All right, I love mentioning it. Okay, that's how you're supposed to do it. All right, teach these kids. Okay, so the next segment we finna go into is compare and contrast. Okay, so compare and contrast. It's a segment that we do where we talk about either two artists or two different groups, producers, labels in the future, and we just talk about how they are the same, yet they are very different. Okay, so that's what we finna do, right? So we got Mason in camp, bro. I'm laughing because you know I just think about that killer movie, that killer season movie. I'm gonna get into why. So they was both raised in Harlem, all right, and yeah, they used to play basketball together. If you watch Killer Season, you will see a clip of them playing basketball together. Okay, so that's why I was laughing, and I found I found the picture. So so yeah, so what I found out is that they was both discovered by Notorious B.I.G. by Biggie. Now, Nas' sister ran into Biggie's role manager, I believe, and then eventually was introduced to Biggie, and his twin sister was like, "Hey, my brother rapped and stuff like that." So yeah, so that's how Mace got into Bad Boy. And when it came to Cameron, Biggie was um Biggie was impressed by him too. I was about to say influence. That's not the right word, but was impressed by Cameron that he introduced him to right. So that's why Cameron was assigned to Bad Boy. However, it makes sense because Cameron wrote the verse for Lil C's on "Crush on You." Yeah, "Crush on You." That Lil C's verse. Yeah, he wrote that. Cameron wrote that. It was a mind blower, and that was both managed by Dame Dash. They grew up with Dame Dash. Made sense. It makes sense. All right, and they was in a group briefly, okay, called the Children of the Corn, and Corn is short for corner, along with Big L, McGruff, and Bloodshed. The reason why it happened briefly is because we all know what happened to Big L, but before Big L's passing, Bloodshed was unfortunately killed in a car accident. So that's why they just decided to disband the group, and they all got signed. So after that, so they just went solo. And they both have their own crews, the Diplomats in Harlem World, okay? And they both use eternal rhymes, okay? When you really listen to it, they both use eternal rhymes. Man, crazy background story, right? I just found this out. But yeah, so we finna get into contrast here. So when it comes to Cameron, again, he was introduced to through Biggie, so he was signed to Entertainment at first, along with Epic, before he was signed to Rockefeller and Def Jam. All right, so he was signed with Epic and Entertainment, and then it was Rockefeller and Def Jam. Just to let y'all know. And of course, he is the founder of Diplomat Records. All right, as we know, Dipset. All right. And he transitioned into acting. Of course, we saw him in Paid in Full. I hate him on Paid in Full. You would hate Cameron when you watch Paid in Full. Okay, like all some real stuff. And of course, Killer Season. Yeah, he was on State Property too. Okay, I remember. And yeah, so he transitioned into acting, and of course he directed Killer Season, of course. And his music content, that I would say, is more hustler based. It's more into like a hustler lifestyle. All right, what hustlers like? Hustlers like cars. Hustlers does this. Hustlers does that. You will get that, but he does it in a very lyrical way. And of course, again, like I said, they both use eternal rhymes, lyrical eternal rhymes that you will receive when it comes to Cameron. All right, and he released 7 albums as of current. Okay, I don't know if he's gonna release an album this year. Maybe so. But yeah, so that is with Cameron, all right, and yeah, so when it comes to Mace, okay, when it comes to Mace, he was signed to Bad Boy, as we know, all right, we don't know that, okay, and so he retired after his second album and enrolled at Clark Atlanta University, and he became a minister and returned to hip hop to do Welcome Back, which is his third album. And as you see that, well, you won't see, but when you do your research and see Welcome Back, that the parental advisory tag is not on there, just because he made that transition. And his music content is more so like rich living. You will get some relationship songs by the dude, and then it transitioned to be religious. So yeah, that's what I would say. And he wasn't thinking about going to like the NBA or anything like that. He just really see rap as his passion, which is why he didn't make that decision and he continued to rap. Okay, so yeah, the difference is Cameron is really what he's living about. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, I like me some Cameron, but yeah, so that is the compare and contrast with those two. I can't stop thinking about that scene that go Killer season when they was playing basketball. But yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. Okay, so yeah, let's go do it with compare and contrast. All right. So we finna hit returning to the capsule. Okay, return to the capsule is a segment that we do where we just reminisce about albums back in the day. Now it's 15 years. 15 years later, this is gonna be the 2007 edition. So yeah, 15 years later, or nearly 15 years later, we got American Gangster by Jay-Z. Okay, yay! All right, so this was released back on November 6th. Okay, the singles from this album we got is Blue Magic, all right, Rock Boys, and the winner is I Know, and I Know, and I Know. Hey, all right, so this was Jay-Z's 10th album, okay? And it peaked number 1 on US top R&B and hip hop albums, US top rap albums, and US Billboard 200, and it was certified platinum. Now we all know that this rollout was inspired by the film American Gangster by Denzel Washington. Okay, with Denzel Washington. Yeah. And the album was released on Amazon, Rockefeller, and Rhapsody websites, and it was removed from iTunes at one point, but it was re-uploaded back in 2011. Now, he said this: as movies are not sold scene by scene, this collection will not be sold as individual singles. Okay. And this album was his last album with Def Jam. After that, he left Def Jam. I have to say that I love this album. Okay. I know it's my favorite. Rock Boys is everybody's favorite. Falling is my favorite. And yeah, like this was a very solid album, and also success with him and Nas. Um, I can't sing the lyrics. I can't sing the lyrics. He was cussing at first, so I can't sing it. But yeah, but I really do like this album. This album was very, very, very solid. Okay. So the next album that we have under here is Curtis by 50 Cent. Okay. So this was released back on September 11th. Yeah. So the singles from this album is Amusement Park, go up and down and round, get on the floor. Straight to the bank. All right, I get money. And Ayo Technology and I Still Kill, which is my favorite song, one of my favorite songs on that album. This is his third album. All right, this was his third album that he released, and it peaked number 2 on U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums, U.S. top rap albums, and U.S. Billboard 200. Okay, and it sold 1,336,000 records. So I'm guessing it's platinum. I don't know why he doesn't have a certification on that. He should. But yeah, so here's what I found out about this. Now, he was going to release Before I Self Destruct, but he decided to release this album instead. Now, I'm glad that he did not do that, because we all know that this during the time when him and Kanye had that whole competition. I remember that time. I was in elementary school when they did this. Like, let's see who sells the most records. Like the whole competition, right? If he released Before I Self Destruct, I don't know how it would have went. Before I Self Destruct was okay, but Curtis was way more aggressive and way more like very, what, never mind. I ain't gonna say it because I saw the singles again and I'm like, nah. So yeah, I'm glad that he didn't do that. That would be a mistake. But he changed the title twice, I found out. So he went from Curtis SSK as the type for the title, and the SSK. Now the SSK, it's 2 references there. One is Sound Scan Killer, and then Southside King. Okay, because that's where he's from, in from New York. So I'm like, I'm glad that he went with Curtis because it's just simple. And yeah, you know what I mean? But I don't know how it would have been, how it would have went if he went with those names. Okay. So yeah, last but not least, my most favorite album, even to this day. Okay. Cold Summer by USDA. Yes. Okay. Was released on May 22nd. All right. Yeah. Singles, White Girl, Corporate Thuggin'. Now, this is the group's first and only album. Okay. And I found out why later on, because I was expecting more projects at this time. I found out that Blood Raw left. Now, Blood Raw is the third person on the right, okay, of Jeezy, as you see. So he left. I don't know why he left. All right. I don't know why. So, but it peaked number 1 on U.S. top R&B hip hop albums and U.S. top rap albums. Okay. And they was signed to CTE, corporate thug and entertainment world. But yeah, this is my favorite album. Okay, Ride Tonight, I still bump that to this day. That's my favorite. Telling Myself, that's my favorite on there. Throw This Money, I listened to it when I got a little older. I wasn't able to listen to that at that time, but that was my favorite too. And Respect the Shell, that was my favorite. This was a solid album. Okay, this was a solid album. This is a hood street classic, in my opinion. The real ones know about this album. Okay, they know about this album. Okay, yeah. So that will be it for returning to the capsule. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. This was a good episode. Now, recap. Did you listen to Gunna's new single? Okay, OutKast. What is your favorite album? What is your favorite song by OutKast? Okay, and Mint Chocolate Chance. Are you gonna try that Ice Cream Out by Chance the Rapper? And Nas, do you own a stake from his 2 singles? And Mace and Cameron, what's your favorite Mace song and what's your favorite Cameron song or albums? You can say either or. In Return to the Capsule, what was your favorite albums on Return to the Capsule that I just mentioned? So yeah, that will be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Music Link with Kimmy Diamond. I'm your host, Kimmy Diamond. Content brought to you by Music Arena, and I'll see you soon.